last year, I posted this video on TikTok. Once Luke and Naomi are done with their video series in the EU of portraying the fall of the West, they're gonna come to my country, the USA, and do the same defaming videos, Islamophobic, xenophobic, racist videos that they do in the EU. They're gonna come here and do it. Because there's only so many cities in the EU that they can do their stupid little videos about, right? There's only so many fallen cities they can go to. So I have a feeling they're gonna come to the USA next, at least North America, maybe Canada, and do the same stupid ass videos. So Luke and Naomi, if you're watching this, please don't come to my country. So I posted that in December of last year. Luke and Naomi are in America now. They're gonna do a 90-day trip around the USA documenting the fall of the West and the degeneracy of the Western world because of wokeness. If you don't know, Luke and Naomi YouTube channel, Two Mad Explorers. They started out as travel vloggers. I've already made a video about them previously, but now they just do these very contrived xenophobic videos in Western countries about immigrants and unhoused people. Obviously, Western countries, there's problems. I'm not denying that, but Luke and Naomi are just open, blatant Christian white nationalists, and they paint these cities as fallen because of diversity and wokeness. Now they're in America. 1 month ago, they streamed their announcement of their US trip, and I told them in their live chat, they're not welcome in my country. And they had a very interesting response. Check this out.
Stefan Häuser is saying, or Steven Häuser, you're not welcome in my country. Well, I'm very sorry to tell you, but if we have a passport and we have a visa,
oh my god,
we're going anyway.
Oh, so I said they're not welcome, and they said, well, if we have the right paperwork, we're gonna go anyway. Also applies to the brown people that are in Europe. Most of them actually have paperwork and visas, okay? Or they're there on a legal asylum seeking program. That's interesting. When they're called out, they automatically go back to, well, it's legal for me to go to America, so there's no issue. I don't care if you don't like it. Well, the same applies to you. I don't care that you don't like that there's brown people in Europe. They're legally welcome in Europe, so get over it. Just very interesting. Once it's them, they're just like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's legal for us to go to America. Well, it's legal for North Africans to be in Portugal or Germany or wherever.
that's fine. If you don't want us there, that's totally fine. We're still gonna go there.
If you don't like North Africans in Europe, that's fine, but they're still gonna come to Europe because Europeans need the workers and need people paying into the system. That's how immigration works. They're mad that I called them out, but their whole YouTube channel is based on what are these people doing in Europe? What are these brown people doing? So anyway, blah, blah, blah. They think they're doing Jesus' work by spreading the gospel of white nationalism and bigotry. They just posted their first video of their USA tour in New York City. Let's check it out. This thumbnail is a doozy, bro. Like a Muslim praying in Times Square. Their whole worldview is predicated around, like I said, the fall of the West, but they're Christian nationalists. So they have this blatant bigotry and this Islamophobia and hatred towards Muslims. What's interesting about this is they're gonna go around, tour the USA for 90 days. They'll hit all the right-wing hotspots, like they'll, I'm sure, go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, and harass Somalians. They'll go to Skid Row, Philadelphia, those unhoused places, paint this contrived right-wing narrative. But what's interesting is Muslims are a small minority in the USA. So it'll be interesting how they'll have to work to paint this picture that Muslims are taking over the USA when Muslims are one of the smallest religious minorities in America.
It's also the last pillar of freedom of speech.
The last pillar of freedom of speech. Hold on to that. We're going to come back to that later, by the way.
Just seeing all of the halal food trucks and then also casually seeing Muslims praying openly in the streets.
Oh, these Muslims are openly praying in the streets. I thought you liked freedom of speech and freedom of expression. We have freedom of religious expression in the United States, and Muslims are exercising their right to worship the way they want to. And he focuses on the halal food stands. First of all, fire. And second of all, those Muslims in New York City have been there a lot longer than you have, okay? Mr. Irishman.
Well, welcome to New York City, everybody, and welcome to the beginning of a massive 90-day or 3-month-long trip.
Oh, great, bro. We're so excited for your guys' 3-month-long trip in the United States. The internet needs it, dog.
We're actually in Chinatown, believe it or not. This is the area that you come to if you want to be pretty central in Manhattan and you don't want to blow your life savings on a few nights in a hotel. $140 though is still pretty steep for us. $
140 for both of them to be semi-close to Manhattan is deep. Dude, I swear to God, I can't do it anymore. These broke-ass travel vloggers. Excuse me, documentarians, these journalists. Welcome to the USA, bro. That's all I gotta say. $140, it's only gonna get more expensive from there.
Situations, housing, migration, and all of that good stuff. And we're going to be diving in as deep as we can here in the US.
I'm really just dying to see your guys' perspective and your opinion about the United States, bro. I wonder if they're going to meet up with like Patriot Front, because they met up with like that neo-Nazi group in Sweden. So they're probably going to meet up with like the local neo-Nazis here in the USA.
New York has a mayor now, Zohran Mamdani, who is a Muslim, communist, socialist, if I'm getting that right.
He's a democratic socialist, he's not a communist.
You can see along the streets here in Chinatown obviously are not doing the same. America is putting in so much work in order to integrate everybody, and then that same service is not appreciated in the way that it's also sort of given back to the people that might not be part of the community.
I think when they...
Okay, so she pointed to a sign that had the church that had English and Mandarin Chinese, and then she panned over to one shop in Chinatown that was all in Mandarin, and then she goes on to say the USA is trying to integrate all these people, but then they don't switch it around to cater to everybody, meaning she didn't like how that shop didn't have any English on it. She's in Chinatown, by the way. This is their crux of their videos, bro. This conspiracy that English is being replaced in America, apparently, because one shop just had Mandarin Chinese. For context, and to remind you, 99% of the signs in the USA have English on them. She points to one shop in Chinatown. People will jump at me in the comments and be like, they're not racially motivated. We're not, we're just documenting. If you're just documenting, why would you have to point that out?
This is what I thought when I thought about coming to America, but then you look down below and it's...
You look down below and see a normal street with snow on it? I don't see any trash.
The cleanup with the snow and with what Mamdani is doing.
What Mamdani is doing is paying people $30 an hour to shovel snow. You're against people making a livable wage now?
People slipping and falling and garbage.
It's the mayor of New York's responsibility when people slip and fall on the ice. The streets look pretty clear of snow to me. What is he talking about? It's like, shut up, bro.
You can get a Mamdani t-shirt if you want to get a t-shirt of the guy that is destroying New York City on a t-shirt.
The guy that is destroying New York City. Well, he's only been in office for like 4 months, and things are going pretty well. So you're lying once again. He's not destroying New York City.
Legends never die, hey.
Legends never die, and he shows the Trump shirt. Yeah, Trump, bro, woo! He hasn't harmed America at all, right? And he's been in office for like 5.5 years now. Yeah, Trump, go, yeah. He's not a communist like Mamdani. Oh, shut up, please. Go stuff your mouth with a sausage.
Well, guys, we made it to the West Village. If you cannot tell, everything is rainbow colored, everything is progressive, everything is liberal, everything is inclusive, and a huge reason why New York has the reputation that it does.
So they walk around, they glaze the churches, and they glaze the American flag and the Little Italy and the Irish flag. When they get to another area that represents pride and the queer community, they complain. It's like, you want this diversity, you want all the representation until it represents a group of people that you don't like in this case, queer people.
I have to say, the West Village, though, is quite nice. Some very beautiful buildings.
Oh, so you're complaining about the pride flags and the gay representation and the queer representation, but then you just complimented it and said it was nice. So it's almost like your bigotry is very irrational because that neighborhood is a very nice neighborhood. You're just mad because it's not heteronormal.
Seems like a real chill area to me, but...
Oh, you're contradicting yourself, buddy. I thought it was a failed liberal woke hellscape.
New York, but because there was so much negativity recently, especially in the internet.
There was no negativity in the international news regarding New York, no more than it normally has. What she's talking about is the right-wing echo chamber that she's in on the internet is constantly peddling this thing that New York has fallen, all these liberal cities in the USA have fallen, and they've ramped up recently because Mamdani was elected. That's what she's talking about. New York City is perfectly fine. It's been New York City. It's the way it's always been. Nothing's really changed. That's what she said, the international news. She's just talking about the right-wing echo chamber on her side of the internet.
National news about New York. I sort of came here with zero expectations. I was kind of actually preparing myself to be having a bad time, if I'm being honest. And I think that was exactly the right thing to do, because now that we're here, I'm actually having a really not bad time at all.
It's almost like being a reactionary is very exhausting, and you live a very miserable life, and you are paranoid about things that don't exist. New York City is perfectly fine, and you're having a good time, and you're definitely overreacted before you came here.
Gotta say, it's fascinating walking through Times Square and just seeing all of the halal food trucks, and then also casually seeing Muslims praying openly in the street. I don't really understand why they need to do that when it's...
Because that's their religion, is they have to pray multiple times a day, and those men are probably at work at those halal food stands, and it's time to pray, so they're not going to go drive back to their house, which is however far away, so they pray right there. It's pretty normal, and it's pretty easy to understand. Later, she complains about the hot dog thing. Well, I just want to get a hot dog. Right up here on screen, I see a hot dog stand right there. So the halal food trucks have not taken over.
There's also a large Hindu festival in the center of Times Square, literally like a Hare Krishna Hindu music festival happening right now. And
again, they go to these diverse places and they're like, oh, I love the Irish flag, I love the American flag, I love the Italian flag. And then when they see Muslims and Hindus, they freak out. It's like, you're in a diverse area. You want the representation that you want. And then when there's a representation of a group you don't like, whether that's gay, queer, or Muslim, or Hindu, you freak the hell out.
Yeah, the presence of Christianity is very much absent from...
The presence of Christianity is very much absent, but in the beginning of the video, you were showing a church.
Wow, so that was a quick little look inside of Old St. Pat's Cathedral here. It's a beautiful cathedral, just slap bang in the center of Manhattan.
Okay, and then there was God Bless America everywhere.
There we go. I was waiting to see this flag, the Irish tricolour, right next to the beautiful US flag as well, no less.
I think Christianity is perfectly represented in New York City. I think you're schizophrenic and you're freaking out.
I guess people are open to do that stuff and no one's gonna hassle them, but it was a shock to see Muslims praying openly in the street in front of people.
It's really not a shock to see Muslims practicing their faith. Again, if you're not a right-wing snowflake, it's just another religious minority practicing their faith, practicing their right of freedom of religion. It's really not that shocking. But then again, it's like, I'm not a right-wing schizophrenic, so I guess I don't understand his paranoia. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. It's most of the video is just them walking around complaining about stuff. They're gonna be in the United States for 90 days, unfortunately. They're gonna spread a lot of hate, a lot of propaganda, going to these different cities. I'll be watching their journey across the USA very closely and monitoring the situation and debunking their videos. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. I'll be uploading again once they upload, and follow me on Instagram, TikTok.